Yes, you know what? Well, it's well known at this stage that I moved down to the Cape, right? So the beach is quite close to my house. And the beginning of this year, I promised myself that I'm going to take my dog to the beach every week. We've been a total time of, I think, about 3 times during this year. And now looking
Three.
literally 3 times. Well, close to 3 times. I know it's less than 10. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Then the second thing that comes to mind is I also said to myself, now that I'm living at the beach, I'm going to start doing surfing. Right, and then we should actually have had this discussion last week, because then what I do is if I want to, if I consider doing something, I buy everything I need for it. Right, so that's bad financial
The
decisions.
equipment.
I buy all the equipment, and then halfway through, I realize I'm not good at surf. Not even halfway through, like 10 lessons down the line, I'm like, I'm not even good at surfing. Like,
Mm.
and to be honest, I'm a bit old to get into surfing now, right? But now I've got the wetsuit, the flippers, and the surfboard, and the roof rack for my vehicle. So that's bad financial planning.
Yeah.
But that was one of my goals, actually, to incorporate my environment into my lifestyle.
Oof, I love that.
And to a certain degree, I got it fine, but the other, to most degree, I don't think I have it. And then that's with regards to my goals. Passions, I always find it very interesting to think about passions, because passions is an interesting old English word, actually. So now, when someone is kissing someone else on TV or whatever, we think that's a passionate kiss, right? That's how we explain passionate. And then we need to feel that you have to be passionate about something, means that you're motivated or goal orientated in that. Whereas the actual use of the word passion is better explained in the movie Passion of Christ. You remember that
Yeah.
Mel Gibson did?
Yeah.
So the passion of the Christ, or the passion of Christ, was the willing fact to lay down his life for the salvation of men. So passion is actually that which you are willing to suffer for. My passion for this year that I would like to do is obviously, and I think most Christians should have it, is community upliftment. I wanted to uplift the community. Um, and that we start small. So I want one person in the community to be, by the end of 2021, not think themselves poor anymore. Poverty is, a lot of times, poverty is a mindset,
True story. Yeah.
because they don't aim or think they're worth more than what they currently are getting or whatever. So that's a mindset. And so why I call that my passion is that that's something that I'm willing to suffer for, because it's going to cost me money and I'm not necessarily benefiting from it. Um, and I didn't get that sorted. To be totally honest, I
Yeah.
didn't. When I started at varsity years ago, we had a lecturer that made the statement. He said, always see who's with you in the room. Because if you're in a room and you're the smartest person in that room, you're in the wrong room.
Mm.
And then, and I thought, what a weird way to say something strange, right? But then later on in life, it actually, I realized, like, there's so much truth in that, because if you want to be an intellectual person, surround yourself with intellectual people,
Yes. Yeah.
right? That's just the way it is. Uh, what's that? I'm trying to figure of the biblical parable, but I can't think of anything now. The one that I wanted to explain, but that's exactly it. When you're that's it. It's actually in Proverbs. It says, "As iron sharpens iron, so your friendship will sharpen you, or shape you, mold you, whatever translation you read." And that's it. If you surround yourself with certain amount of people or certain people, that's the way that it's going to be. They are the ones that's going to influence you. So if you're the only one that's not considering consuming alcohol, and all your friends do, and you go to their house, I think probably might not be the first night or the second night, but 2 or 3 months down the line, you're not going to be that firm on your standpoint against alcohol anymore, because you've been what's that? Not exposed, but what's the way that they always say that the media is not?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it is. You've been. It's almost like climatized. But that's that
Condition.
condition. Thank you.
Yeah.
That would keep me up all night, right? So we've been conditioned with certain things, but you are in a very fortunate position usually to choose the conditionment that you will have, right? So surrounding yourself with a certain amount of people will obviously influence your decisions. Now, you need to choose your people, obviously. So choose your weapons. And I've realized, like, I've got friends that's extremely wealthy. So if I need to make financial decisions, there's certain types of friends that I phone and I sit into conversations and we have a braai and do whatever, and then we have these financial decisions, and I'm able to lean on their mentorship, if I can call it that way, to see what would be a good financial decision. But spending all my time with those guys will lead me back into the mindset of poverty, because I do not drive that SUV, and I do not own my third or fourth house, and my children that's 4 years old don't already have the university fees paid for or saved up or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So that there's a certain degree that I want to put in as well, that you need a exposure limit. You know, like when we had that COVID on the phone and said you might have been exposed. Right. We need an app like that you've listened to enough wealthy people now.
You're exposed.
You're exposed, yeah.
Yeah, you've been infected.
It's up to you now. I always believe that when you set goals up, you need to sort of set up sub goals. Like, if I can put it that way. So if you want to run 2.4 kilometers, which is a good starting length to start running, you will, if you can do 2.4 Ks in under 12 minutes, you are considered 70% fit, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Right? But when I go jogging now, it's not going to take me 12 minutes to do 2.4, right? It's probably going to take me 30 minutes. So in order for me to set a goal, so I need to do 2.4 in under 12 minutes next week, is totally it's unrealistic. So what I would do is then I would say, okay, it's now taking me 30 minutes. So 2 weeks from now, I need to do it in 25. And then 2 weeks from then, I need to do it in 20. Again, probably unrealistic, but you understand what I mean. So you have these sub-goals leading to the main goal, right? And sub-goals, as well as all goals, should be measurable.
Yeah.
If you have a goal that's immeasurable, you're not going to achieve it anyway or anyhow, because you can't. You understand? So how would you know if you do?
Exactly.
That's the thing. So a goal should always be measurable. And the second thing, like I said now, is you should need to have realistic sub-goals leading up to the main goal. And if you write that down or get it in a notepad, in an app or whatever, it will increase the chances of you reaching it. Not only for the fact that it's actually been written down and there's something holy and majestic happen when you put ink in paper, but something happens in your mindset and in your serotonin levels when you're able to check that first box and say, I did it.
Yes.
Then you get yourself motivated and say, I'm going to do the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. And that's my advice always.